Hello, this is Miss Morningstar. Today we are going to look at, actually the section is 3.3.1 inside of your book. It's called Solving Equations with Multiplication and Absolute Value. That means solving equations by distributing, which we've already kind of looked at, and solving equations using absolute value. What I would like for you to do to start this video is, one, I just want you to review what we've already kind of talked about. I would like for you to review what we just learned in the last lesson by multiplying each expression below. First, decide you can multiply each expression using the distributive property or using a generic rectangle. So I would like for you, first thing, to choose one, either A or B, pick one, and I would like for you to multiply. You can use your generic rectangle or distributive properties. So hit pause, go ahead and distribute, do one of these two, and I'll check it tomorrow, and then we'll move on. Okay, the next thing as review, I don't want you to spend all day on this. We did review, the whole point of kind of using the distributive property is to work on solving equations that distribute. We've actually been doing this throughout the semester. But use the distributive property, or you can draw generic rectangles to rewrite this product and then solve this equation for y. The only one I'd like for you to do is A. Go ahead and hit pause and do that. When you're ready, turn back on. Alright, on your note page, the big thing I want to talk about today is the absolute value. Solving equations that involve absolute values. First thing, let's review what absolute value is. The absolute value of a number is its distance from 0 on a number line. Write that down. Hopefully you know what absolute value is, but actually I think some of you are still struggling with this a little bit more than I would prefer you're doing at this point. So what is the absolute value of 4? That means here's 0, here's 4. How many units away is 4 from 0 on a number line? It is 4 units away. So the absolute value of 4 is 4. The next one, what is the absolute value of -6? That means how many units away, here's -6, how many units away is -6 from 0 on a number line? That would be 6 units. So the absolute value of a number is always positive because it's always the distance from 0 on a number line. Alright, now let's look at some absolute value equations. Find as many solutions to the following equations as you can. Okay, let's look at A. The absolute value of x equals 5. What value can you fill in for x to make that equation true? So in other words, the question is the absolute value of what number gives you 5? Hopefully you figured it out. Is that the absolute value of 5? 5? Because 5 is 5 units away on a number line. But isn't the absolute value of -5 also a 5? Because -5 is also 5 units away on a number line. So the solution to this, x can be 5, or x can be -5. So this one actually has 2 values for x that make the equation true. Think about that for a minute. I would like for you to try B. Find what value or values of x make that equation true. Hit pause. Try to figure out what the solution or solutions are. Hopefully it didn't take you forever to figure out. The question is the absolute value of what number gives you 133? Well, the absolute value of 133 is 133. And the absolute value of -133 is 133. So your two solutions are x is 133 or x equals -133. Because those two values make that equation true. What about this one? The absolute value of what number gives you negative 2? Is it 2? What's the absolute value of 2? No, that's 2. What's the absolute value of negative 2? That's also 2. So the question is there any value? Is there any absolute value that will equal negative 2? Okay, actually this is a no solution because you can't take the absolute value of any number to get a negative 2. Because an absolute value is always going to be a positive number because it's a distance from 0. A positive number cannot equal negative 2. All right, what about this one? What values can you fill in for x that if you take away 7 and take the absolute value, you'll get a 10? Maybe hit pause and just see if you can figure out anything that works. Okay, the absolute value of what number gives you 10? Well, the absolute value of 10 and the absolute value of negative 10 is also 10. So that means what's inside the absolute value can equal 10, or what's inside the absolute value can also equal negative 10. Now a lot of you, I bet you just did this in your head, you got the 17. Okay, but what other value makes it true? If I just solve this one-step equation by adding a 7, negative 3 also makes that absolute value equation true. Okay, let's see the next one, I guess. Okay, last one we're going to do together. Solve the absolute value of 3x minus 5 equals 16. I know we're not working with the team. Organize your work so that anyone can follow along to both solutions. There are actually 2 solutions. I bet a lot of you can just look at that and tell what one of the solutions is. 7, right? 3 times 7 is 21 minus 5. But you need to think about having an organized way to do it, because if you don't have an organized way to do it, when you get fractions or decimals for your solution, it's guess and check is awfully hard. Okay, so for this one, the absolute value of what number will give you 16? 16 or negative 16. So that means what is inside the absolute value can either equal 16 or it can equal negative 16. Or 3x minus 5 can equal negative 16. You know what? Hopefully you can solve a 2-step equation. Add 5 to both sides. There's your 7, which a lot of you got from guess and check. There's another solution. This is a 2-step equation. You add a 5 to solve. If I borrow $16, pay you back 5, I owe you 11. The other answer is negative 11 thirds, and I have no idea what the decimal equivalent to that is. Negative 3 2/3 maybe? Or negative 3.6. Repeat it. So you have to keep in mind for absolute value equations, actually there's almost always 2 solutions unless there's no solution, and actually it is possible to have 1 solution. But what's inside the absolute value can equal, in this case, positive 16 or negative 16. You literally just write the 2 equations and solve them. You're just going to have to do your best. I know some of you are still struggling with solving equations. Okay, the last thing I want you to do, this is actually out of your book, this is problem 80. I would like for you to solve, do your best. I know this is new for you, it might be hard. Do your best to solve the absolute value of 7 minus 8x equals 1. Record your steps. You know, some of you are awesome with numbers, and you can do guess and check to get these answers. But try to work on thinking about showing steps kind of like I did, especially on this one. When you get back tomorrow, I will look at the highlighted ones that I asked you to try to see how you're doing, and we will definitely talk about this some more. If you have any questions, I didn't leave a space, maybe down here write some questions that you might have. and I'll take care of your questions tomorrow, and we'll work on this more tomorrow. But I do ask that you do your best. I do ask that if you had trouble with this video or any of the concepts in the video that you rewind it and watch it again. I will see you tomorrow.